felt bigger than what was happening in the moment. Many people today, beloved, are reacting and not living consciously. And your reactions are revealing something much deeper, running beneath the surface, calling the shots in your life. Sometimes we think that we are simply responding to what's in front of us at the moment. But many times we're reacting, again, to something beneath the surface, an old disappointment, an old wound, an old fear, an old failure, an old pattern that believe it still has to protect you. Today, we're going deeper into the truth. Your reactions may be revealing the pattern running beneath the surface as self-protection. Today, we're also going to activate the power to shift from hindsight to insight and ultimately foresight. Now, this is not about shaming your emotions. That's not what we do here. It's about learning how to hear from your inner self, hear what your emotions may be communicating before a survival pattern takes over your choices. Let's get into it. Let's take a good healing deep breath in. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes and exhale. Remember, beloved, we breathe to reset and regulate the nervous system. We breathe to ground ourselves in our body, and we breathe to tap into the rich inner light to elevate and expand. So if you feel comfortable, close those eyes, deep breath in and exhale. One more for the power of 3, deep breath in and exhale. Today, we're going to continue on our spiritual success identity pathway of awareness. In week 1, we brought language to the exhaustion of self-protection. Many times you feel exhausted, you can't move, you're not making progress, you don't know why. We brought language because we wanted to interrupt that overthinking and that self-judgment of being lazy or undisciplined. That's not the problem. Many times you're simply exhausted from protecting yourself. In week 2, we went deeper into recognizing some patterns, right? The way you act, the way you respond. They're not your personality, but they are protection mechanisms that you created along the way to protect yourself, to insulate yourself. And today, we're taking another step forward. How do you recognize when these patterns are actively being triggered in real time? I want you to put that in your notes. Today is all about recognizing when these patterns are being triggered in real time, not in hindsight. That's where we get that saying, hindsight is 2020. All of us can look back on an incident, on a reaction, on something that happened, a moment in time, and see it clearly for what it was. But that will not get you to operating in your God self and demonstrating what you came here to demonstrate, the impact you're here to have. What we want to do now is begin to recognize those patterns as we did last week, right? The pattern that we think is our personality, but they're really protection mechanisms. We want to start recognizing those when they are actively being triggered in real time. Put that in your notes. When the patterns are actively being triggered in real time. So the reaction may not be the problem. Again, we're not here to shame emotions. The reactions may not be the problem. The reaction may be the revelation. Please put that in your notes. And let me check in and see who's here today. Great Grand Rising, Lisa, thanks for joining us live. Thanks for joining us live. Reese, thanks for joining us live. Amanda, all right. So, again, this is not about shame and emotions. It's about really understanding that your triggers are your teachers. So we're not here to self-criticize you for how you've reacted in difficult situations. I want you to hear that. This is not about criticizing yourself or beating yourself up for how you have reacted in difficult situations. It's about observing yourself with compassion and then giving yourself permission to see what has been slightly operating beneath the surface. Beloved, you guys, this is so rich. I'm telling you, when you tap into this dimension of conscious awareness, where you can recognize a pattern in real time, not in hindsight, but in real time, as you turn in and get that insight, then you will have the foresight to move forward with intention, to move forward with purpose, to move forward fully embodying what you came here to embody. So we want to really give ourselves permission to see what has been quietly, gently running beneath the surface, continually calling shots in your life. So let's get into this today. My purpose today is to move from gathering intellectual understanding. This is not just about learning something intellectually, but my purpose is to start moving from intellect to spiritual recognition and inner confirmation of what your spirit, Holy Spirit, your God self, higher self is saying. I sense today that many people are in a season where they no longer are being able to allow, or they're no longer being able to ignore their reactions and what your reactions are revealing. In other words, you get to a place, beloved, where you recognize that something else is going on. So you may have noticed that the things that you once brushed aside are beginning to feel more visible, right? Things that your emotions responded to are becoming clearer. You're beginning to see, okay, I had a reaction. Okay, I just really went off. Okay, I really shut down in that moment. Why am I running? Your discomfort is becoming harder to override. Y'all talk back to me today. We're going to be very interactive, right? Your old way of handling yourself no longer feels aligned with the truth of who you are becoming. What are you talking about, Dr. E? Your daily routines. Remember, I always say this, your success and your failures are hidden in your daily routine. The way that you are handling yourself, all of that hiding and judging and over-explaining and people-pleasing and fear and on and on and on and on. We're going to get into it, right? The way that you handle yourself, something now is not lining up. Something is beginning to say, there is something deeper here for me. There is something more that I am supposed to be sensitive to in this season. And the way that I handled myself in the past is no longer valid. So when you begin to realize this, okay, what I'm doing is not working for me. Can we just breathe and be honest? What I'm doing is not working. I'm so tired. Can y'all talk back to me? I'm so tired of doing the same, being the same, acting the same, saying the same, getting the same results. It's time for something new. It's time for something different. And this is not regression, beloved. This is revelation. Put that in your notes. Divine intelligence, Holy Spirit is not exposing these patterns to embarrass you or to condemn you. These patterns are coming to the conscious awareness because now you clearly have the capacity to see them. That's growth. That's progress, right? So this is not about shaming you and embarrassing you. That's not why you're seeing this, not why you're in this conscious awareness. Now you have the capacity to really see it. Do you know how many years you operated in a blind way and didn't realize what you were doing? But now you can really see them. And number two, you have the capacity to heal through them and to stop allowing them to define your next expression of your life. I want to pause here for a minute. I want to take a breath, and I want you to get ready to respond. Pause and take a breath. Relax. Check in with your body. Do a body scan. Come on, this is our nervous system awareness. Notice what you're doing. There are many times, even when I'm sitting here and I am releasing a transmission and I'm sounding and feeling in a relaxed way. And there have been times I did a body scan and I realized that I'm sitting like this, even though I'm talking calm. And you want to do these body scans and check in. Notice when you're in a ball, if you're in a ball, you're holding your breath. You're in that autonomic nervous system of fight, flight, freeze, right? So these are all the subtle things running beneath the surface that we want to check in. Do a quick body scan from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet. Are you tensing? Are you distracted? Are you nervous? Are you anxious? Are you fidgeting? Are you doodling, right? What's going on in the moment? All of that is telling you something. And again, I have a deep sense that we are in a divine moment. Some of you are not actually struggling with the present moment. You're struggling with what the present moment has awakened from a former season. I want you to get that. This is insight, right? You're not struggling with the present moment because remember, the present moment is the place of power. It is the place of creativity. It is the place of God consciousness. You're not struggling with the present moment. What you may be struggling with is what you have awakened to in this present moment from a former season. So, what do I mean by that? You may be recognizing in the present moment that a delayed response in somebody awakened a fear of abandonment. Being misunderstood by a statement you made may have awakened a need to defend yourself. An opportunity may have awakened fear of visibility, fear of vulnerability. Someone else's opinion awakened an old need to be approved of. All of these common things running beneath the surface. A moment of uncertainty awaken a pattern of trying to control everything in order to feel safe. So we want to reframe some things, right? So the prophetic reframe today is this. I hear this clearly. You are not being asked to keep surviving experiences that have already ended. You are not being asked to keep experiencing moments that have already passed, injuries, hurts. You're being invited to recognize what rises in honor. See, we want to honor everything. You don't want to shame yourself. You don't want to beat yourself up, right? You want to honor whatever that pattern has been trying to protect. I honor that. I honor my fear of visibility. I honor it. I respect it. You kept me alive. You kept me safe, right? You want to honor that and then return to your God self. Return to your God self before choosing your next move. So here's my prophetic declaration. This is a season where unconscious reaction will move out the way, where you can have a conscious response. And we've talked about this many times, the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is moving from an old injury, an old pattern of survival, an old pattern of protection, right? An old pattern of disconnecting from your higher self, coming to the level and the energy of what was given to you. You're meeting the same energy, right? When you respond, you can move that out of the way. That unconscious reaction moves with the sacred pause, and you could tap into your God self, your Christ consciousness, and respond. Why is that so beautiful? Because there's a deeper level of truth, right? Come on, guys, let me check in and see what's happening here today. So, take a deep breath, because I want this reaching down on the side. Yes, Reese, I'm with you. I want to take a moment and let's just ground that, because I'm with you right there. Reese says, I'm ready to try new things. I am too. I'm ready. I'm ready for new experiences. It doesn't matter what your age is. And can we release that? Because age is truly a number. It really is. It's about your spirit. It's about you being a child of heart. Now, because the physical body is attached and is a part, and it is a very legal and vital part of this 3D realm, the body is going to do what it does as it ages. But our spirit can keep these bodies energized and alive, and then we're going to do our part to make sure that the body is healthy. I'm taking control and choosing my responses. Exactly. And we're choosing from the God self. We're choosing from the God, taking your time, right? Choosing from your God self, allowing the highest expression of you to be able to call the shots. So this is a season where old protection patterns lose their authority. Breathe that in. I decree and declare. This is the season where all those protection patterns lose their authority in your life, because you see clearly now. You have the insight. That's what we're activating while we're in this transmission today. You're activating this deeper insight, and old protection patterns lose their authority right now. Right now, in the name above all names, right now. Come on. This season, this is the season where you stop allowing a former wound to direct your present decisions. Come on, I decree and declare in your life today. I want this to go deep. This is the season where you stop allowing an old wound to direct your present decisions. So at the top of the hour, remember when I said being presented with an opportunity, and all of a sudden you shrink, you want to hide, you start second guessing, you start self-doubting. Instead of being overjoyed because what you prayed for is being answered, then you start second guessing. You start going into analysis paralysis. But I decree and declare that we're out of that season where the old wounds are going to direct your present decision. This is the season where awareness becomes sovereign. It becomes sovereignty in your life, all right? So let's get into this just a little deeper, right? A reaction can feel bigger than the present moment. We know that. Can y'all talk back to me? Come on, be honest. Tell me. And again, this is not about judgment or condemnation. Have you ever had a moment where someone said something, they delayed or failed to respond to you, you were misunderstood, or again, you were presented with that opportunity, and all of a sudden your emotional reaction was much bigger than what the moment was calling for. Talk back to me. That means you blew off. You went off. You went bat crazy. Y'all know the other word to go in between bat and crazy. Right? Come on, have you ever blew up? Come on. All right, now moms, talk back to me, especially moms. Have you ever went off on a child when they asked a simple question? Can you just tell the truth and shame the devil? They hit a nerve. What am I getting to? When the reaction is much bigger than what the present moment is presenting. It's just disproportionate. It lands inside of you and feels disproportionate to the event itself. That has happened time and time and time again. You shut down. Maybe you didn't blow up. Maybe you just shut completely down. You know, we're in Gemini season. I was talking to my daughter and we were talking about the difference between May Geminis, June Geminis, and how we are smack dab in the second decade of the Gemini 30-day, I'm calling it 30-day, but it's really 28-day window. And we were just joking and talking about the core Geminis right in the middle of the spectrum. And we were talking about our ability to shut down. And you know, it's been said by those in the astrology world that the Gemini is one of the most deadly, the most deadly personalities in the zodiac when it comes to shutting down and cutting people off. Because we are so loving, so kind, so faithful, so enduring and long-suffering, but when we're done, we're done. And the way we shut down, you don't even know we're shutting down. All right. If I got Geminis in here, y'all talk back to me. You cut off and don't even know you've been cut off. All right. That was a whole side journey right there. All right. So let's go. So all these things begin to happen. Somebody make a simple comment. It unsettles you for hours. Reese said, oh, yes. Yes. When responses can be disproportionate, someone makes a simple comment, but it unsettles you for hours. Y'all, this is so real. I can clearly remember, don't leave me out here by myself. I can clearly remember somebody making a comment and me being mesmerized for hours, replaying, looking over, dissecting, analyzing over and over and over again what was said, right? One thing about us May, June people, our discernment is keen and sharp. So we don't have to do all that digging and searching. But when something else underneath is running, when there's a pattern of protection running underneath, somebody can make a simple comment that unsettle you for hours. Someone delayed responding to you. Y'all, I kid you not. Especially in this age of social media, I have had people go clear off because I didn't respond in a quickly manner. You know, okay, I'm a baby boomer, Gen X, y'all know about this too. I am not glued to my phone because we did not grow up in this digital age. Come on. I've never been attached to my phone. I'm not a person that walks around with my phone in my hand all the time. I just don't. All right. So I don't, and then I have notifications on silent as well. So if somebody comment or ask me or text or email, I'm not going to see it until it's my time to go and check that, which I check email, text, and things 3, sometimes 5 times a day. Now, after experiencing this, people had the feeling because I did not instantly respond, or I may not have even seen the message at all, messenger. I've had people just respond in crazy ways. I mean, I'm sorry I wasted your time. Wasted my time? I just saw this, right? And will completely shut down. Y'all talk back to me if y'all know anything about that. Y'all give people grace. At least say maybe they didn't see it. Maybe it got accidentally deleted. Give them some grace and send it a second time. All right. So when you feel misunderstood, you immediately begin over explaining. Come on, talk back to me. Have you ever remember over explaining because you felt that you were misunderstood? I definitely am not in love with the phone. Right. People are learning that. All right. Good. Yeah. Yes. Have you ever caught yourself over explaining? Right. Again, that opportunity appears, but instead of excitement, you feel fear, hesitation, or a need to retreat. Everything that I'm talking about, beloved, I have lived. I have experienced. That's why I can so freely sit here and talk about this, right? Someone disagrees with you, and your body experiences it as rejection or threat, right? So the reaction may feel bigger than the moment. This is how you want to start coming into this awareness. When the reaction is bigger than the moment, because it's touching on something deeper in that moment. This does not mean your feelings are invalid. Please, that's not what we're saying. We're not saying that your feelings are invalid. It means your feelings may be carrying more history than you first realized. That's good right there. All right. The body often responds before the mind understands what's going on. That's why we want to be so in tune with the body, right? Because all of that energy is what? Information. So a person may consciously believe they are safe, prepared, mature, ready to move forward, while their nervous system still reacts from an earlier experience of pain. I want you to hear that. You may consciously believe, okay, I'm safe, I'm good, I'm prepared, I'm mature, I grew up, I'm ready, I've done work on myself, it's time to move forward. But your nervous system still reacts from an earlier experience of pain, rejection, instability, criticism, disappointment, abandonment, scarcity, lack. So I want you to really see that distinction. And I'm going to bring this home right here. That's the whole challenge in a nutshell. Consciously, you're ready. Consciously, you've been doing the work. Consciously, you're trying to take steps to move forward, but your nervous system. Somebody talk back and say nervous system. I'm going to type that in the chat. Nervous system. Your nervous system in your body is still running on that old program of hurt, abandonment, disappointment, rejection, lack, scarcity, eviction, heartbreak. Because what did I tell you a long time ago? Yes, the body stores the memory in your cells, in your nervous system. It remembers. So when you are presented with any situation that remotely resembles a hurt, a pain, a fear, your body automatically triggers it as an alarm. So this is how it shows up. It shows up as defensiveness, emotional withdrawal, procrastination, self-silencing, just getting quiet, shutting down, hyper-independence, I don't need nobody help. I could do it myself. I'll never ask anybody for help. I'll just, suffer through. Needing control before you take action. Y'all raise your hand. Shutting down, over-explaining, people-pleasing, perfectionism. This is how it shows up, beloved. Your reaction may be your body remembering what your conscious mind is trying to move beyond. So consciously, we're trying to move forward, but your body still remembers. And the key here is for you to remember what your body is reacting and responding to is information. It's not your enemy. So your triggers are your teachers. Put that in your notes. Triggers are my teachers. They're my friends. They're not my enemy. So when you're triggered, that's not an enemy. It's not the person's fault in that moment, because what we do is, because we're not in conscious awareness, we blame the person who made the comment, right? Who delayed the response, who misunderstood you, the economy, your boss, your husband, your parents, your pastor, your bishop. We blame the environment. We blame the condition instead of looking at what is this trigger, this reaction showing me? What is it protecting me from? The way I reacted to what they said, what am I protecting myself from? When you can get that, that is when the beginning of growth. So this is why spiritual growth must include conscious awareness. You cannot affirm away the past. You can't affirm away the past of what you are unwillingly to lovingly observe. Remember, I said lovingly. We're not beating ourselves up. We're not in any of that, right? Every reaction may be attempting to protect you from something. So remember last week, it's not your personality. That's not just who you are. You have to look at why you act the way you act. We become so comfortable with it. Some of us have glorified the way we act. Even though we have been told over and over again, you're just way too sensitive, overly sensitive, not highly sensitive, big difference, overly sensitive, because you're self-protecting, right? So this is where you draw from everything we've been talking to. And we want to really have an emotional translation so that you're not being defensive, you're not over-explaining. You have to be able to say, all is well. The revelation is information, not identity. That's not who you are. And we want to move from not being the highest version of ourselves. So when we talk about moving from hindsight to insight and ultimately the foresight, what I want you to land on today is being able to respond from your God self, from your higher self, having better responses that you are choosing in the moment rather than letting the old pattern choose for you. I feel to just pause right here because I feel stuff breaking up. I feel it breaking up. The reason why I'm going through this is not to teach something deep, because I'm not teaching, I'm in a transmission for transformation. While I'm speaking, the spirit, the vibrational frequency of what we're creating here is breaking up, is going in and breaking stuff up. Because, again, it's not about what age you are. That is just a number. What we want to grasp here is that I've been trying for years to move forward, and I'm moving very slow or not at all. And I know it's time for that to stop. And slow has its place, because what we want to tap into is a teeny tiny step having a giant step result. Put that in your notes. When we come into divine alignment, agreement, and cooperation with our God self, our higher self, teeny tiny step have giant step results. It have quantum leap results. That's what we're after today. We want to be able to pause and ask in the moment, what am I feeling right this moment? I've been asking myself all week long, right? What am I feeling in this moment? What is being activated? What am I trying to protect? Because clearly I don't want that. But the pattern is telling me I want that. So when I realize that I want that, whatever that may be, right? What am I protecting by doing that? Beloved, hear me. There is something you are protecting, whatever the addiction may be, right? And when I talk about addiction, I don't speak about it in a negative way. I'm speaking about it in a positive way of conscious awareness. I am aware that I keep repeating this. This keeps showing up. I keep reaching for that. Even though I know I don't want it, my body don't want it, my mind don't want it. But why am I reaching for that over and over and over again? Yes, you did create a habit that turned into a pattern that you may now feel is a part of your personality. But deeper, what is that protecting? Why are you so disconnected? And some of those actions, some of the vices, right? We're not talking about sin. Sin is about just missing the mark. So we're not judging what you're reaching for. I don't care about any of that, right? What you're reaching for is disconnecting you in that moment from your higher self, from your true purpose, and it's giving you false purpose. It's giving you false satisfaction. It's giving you momentary instant gratification. It's giving you a dopamine hit. And now you're so addicted to the dopamine hit, no matter what you use to trigger it. And I've been addicted to dopamine since I was a little child. When you become consciously aware, you can look way back and you can see the first instance. I can see and all kids love treats, don't get me wrong. But it's a way that I loved treats when I was a kid. I'm going back to like 3 years old. I could see myself in Harlem, Manhattan, sitting outside, licking on a big ice cream cone from the Mr. Softy ice cream truck. How many of y'all remember Mr. Softy? But it's a way that I was so engrossed in that has been a door. I'm addicted to dopamine hits. So when activities, I want you to hear this. This is why sometimes consistency and discipline seems to get away from us, right? It's because the repetition of certain tasks doesn't trigger that dopamine. We're not getting that endorphins, right? And so we've trained our brain to want that endorphin, that dopamine hit, right? So we keep reaching for that. Y'all better talk back to me, right? All of that's valid. But there is something that I've replaced, something I masked over what I was reaching for. Every time I'm reaching, you have to recognize, what am I protecting myself from? This is when you get into the deeper work of conscious awareness. Because clearly, y'all not talking to me. Clearly, you know you don't want that anymore. It doesn't matter if it's fried food, Chinese food, alcohol, sex, drugs, gambling. It doesn't matter what it is. You know you don't want that, but you keep reaching. We trained ourselves to reach, but underneath that, what are you protecting yourself from? This is grown-up stuff, y'all. Grown-up stuff. So we want to have a sacred pause, the moment where you stop and breathe and create space. This is a tool you can use over and over and over again. What am I feeling in this moment? In that sacred pause, what am I feeling in this moment? Notice if it's tightness in your body, an urge to withdraw, a need to defend yourself, racing thoughts, right? Irritation, fear, shame, urgency, over-explaining, emotional shutdown. What is it? What's going on in that moment? That's the moment of power when you can have the insight in the moment, in the real time, then you can choose something else. So this is the assignment this week. If you can name the protection, good. I'm protecting myself from being hurt. Not just hurt. You have to say hurt from what? Because hurt is too broad. It's too open-ended. I'm protecting myself from being hurt from the pain of failure, disappointment, rejection, abandonment. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm protecting myself from feeling shame. What is it? Rejection, abandonment, shame, disappointment, being misunderstood, being exposed, losing control, not being enough, being too much. What is it? The reaction sometimes has nothing to do with the person in front of you. The reaction is trying to protect you from an experience your system remembers. Let's take a good healing deep breath in. Exhale. My prayer affirmation for you today, this week, you will catch yourself in real time. You will gently tap in and lovingly tap in and name the pattern. I'm protecting myself from. And then you say, but in this moment, I can choose something different. Now, here's a caution. Do not beat yourself up or down if you still reach for what soothes you. Don't beat yourself up. Be consciously aware and observe what you're reaching for. And then make a note, because that's going to come around again. Tell your subconscious mind, I'm ready to choose from a higher place of authority. I'm ready to choose what's going to honor me and help me get to where I want to go, right? And then you watch as you can gently, quietly, lovingly send the message to your subconscious mind. Give it a light touch. I'm ready to choose differently. And then another opportunity comes, and then you choose differently. And then this is where repetition kicks in, because the subconscious mind says, okay, I heard you. I'm going to help you to choose differently today. But in order to convince the subconscious that what you chose today, you want that to be a way of your life, you have to choose it again and again and again. And this is where the spiritual success tool of a 1 in 7 comes into play, where you start creating a new loving habit. All right, lovelies, talk back to me. Let me know if this was helpful for you today. What my aim was all this month, the whole 30 days we've been in dimension 1 of awareness, was to get you to really see, oh, that's what I've been thinking. Oh, that's what's happening. This is why I'm responding that way. Oh, that's not my personality. I see that that's something that I've adopted to help me survive. I'm in survival mode, so that you can stop having hindsight, have insight to the present moment, and then ultimately activate foresight, where you can see clearly the path that you're going to take and get on that path and take it. All right? So again, I'm going to release you with many blessings for the rest of your day. When we come off, go back under the comment section on Facebook, YouTube. Please leave a comment. I'll go back. All of that is boosting the engagement. I see my algorithm is picking up more. They're pushing my stuff out. They're pushing my videos out more on YouTube. I'm getting more engagement on Facebook. See, when you make a comment on Facebook, right, and I go back and answer you, and we start talking back and forth, all of that boosts engagement in the algorithm, and they push it out to more people, all right? Love you guys so much. See you. We're at halftime already. We're at halftime. All right, see you at the next Spiritual Success transmission next week. Oh, Kiki Law, gracious greetings. Thanks for joining us live. We're signing off. Catch the replay. This was a long one today, but it was worth it. Share this with someone who may need to hear this, and I'll see you at our next Spiritual Success live connection. Love you. Bye for now.